This is the Fox Classic Rock Report.
Hey, it's Errol Collins. Richie Sambora of Bon Jovi has earned more than just a paragraph in the chapters of classic rock. The lead guitarist is more than just another riff.
Hey,
how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Well, you know, I got to be honest with you, man. I am so proud of your band for being who you are and what you guys have done.
Oh, man, thank you very much. That's very nice of you.
It's amazing. I was sitting here reading on the bio that you guys have done 2,700 concerts, but being in radio for 30-some years, you guys have done so much for the industry of radio by doing things behind the scenes. How is it that you, being you, have remained so loyal to the industry of radio?
You know, I guess it's, our dedication to the song and the power of the song, I mean, John and I work really, really hard at, writing songs that communicate to people, and I think that really what it comes down to. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, music was the soundtrack to my life, that's for sure, and all the bands that I listened to and the songwriters that I listened to, kept me company throughout some of the lonely times and certainly some of the celebration times, too. So I think that we get a chance to do for people, and, actually you guys have propelled us. So, thank you.
Absolutely. I love the title of your new CD, Because We Can. Now, does that come with a little bit of attitude? We're here because we can?
No, it's actually the opposite. I think it's more about inclusion. And what happens is like, if you can get out and do something for somebody, you should do it. And why? Because we can.
Oh, I love that.
You just don't want to, you just don't want to go through your life and not do something important or do something positive. I think that's really what it comes down to. I know people always say, hey, we're like being all arrogant. Why are you guys touring again? Because we can. But it's not that at all. When you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's a completely different other way. I mean, John and I, we've been lucky enough to, our last tour was 52 countries, 18 and a half months. We have a chance to actually feel the undercurrent of what's going on socially and how people are feeling throughout the world and how we all feel here in America. And, we decided to write this record about some of those feelings. And the title track, What About Now, is kind of about the same thing. Hey, man, there's a lot of problems that we have to face here in this nation alone. Go out there and what are you going to do about it? Well, when are you going to do it? What about now?
Yep.
But it's in a very positive direction, and it's like, people say this is a political record. It is not a political record. It's about people and how people are feeling and how we're all feeling collectively, But it's a big rock record at the same time. So
it's very interesting because those themed albums kind of went away with MP3s and WAV files. So I mean, was it different to kind of stay with a theme like that for an album?
Well, no, it's not the whole record's like that. It's like just some of the songs have that kind of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the songs have that kind of theme going on. But there's some love songs on it, and there's some just rock and roll stuff on it too. So I mean, it's a record of diversity in that way. But there is some ongoing current and theme throughout the record of this optimism and also a call to arms, so to speak.
Right.
Like, hey man, I mean, you basically were going out there and telling the stadium, come on man, get up and let's go.
I love it.
And it's a lot of fun. People are really getting it.
Hey, how's your family in New Jersey? Everybody okay from Hurricane Sandy?
Well, my mom's house got hit pretty hard, so she came out and lived with me in California for about 4.5 months, and we rebuilt her house now, and so she's back in it. She didn't get devastated.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, our keyboard player, had a beach house that was on the beach, and it's gone, man. So we got a lot of rebuilding to do, and I mean that's one of the things that obviously we were involved in this whole Big 12-12 thing, and also to bring awareness to how bad it was in our home state.
What's really interesting is that from this tragedy, that there's going to be a budding rock star coming from that, because it seems like you guys from Jersey speak and write from the soul.
I tell you what, when people come together, people get stuff done. And, I think Governor Christie is doing a really good job to rally everybody. He's got a state to rebuild, man. I mean, it's a mess down there.
Mm-hmm.
I went and visited with the Red Cross, a place called Seaside Heights, which was a beach that I used to visit when I was a kid, and I played the clubs there as I got older, so it was a place that I really knew well. I mean, it was devastated. I took Access Hollywood in there with me just to kind of make people aware of the gravitas of what was happening there, and then right after that we did the 12-12 concert and stuff like that. So, I mean, as a celebrity, you can do your best to spread the word out there through awareness, and we've been a band that obviously been committed philanthropically to a lot of different causes throughout the throughout our career.
Hey, you're going to find this weird, but every Bon Jovi concert I've been to, I find myself watching you more because I want to know where you're going when you're playing that guitar. You're
right
not,
on, brother.
You're not here, are you?
I'm going nuts, man. I try to get out of my body as much as possible. I play with as much heart and soul as I can. When I grew up teaching myself how to play guitar, I was listening to guys that were, in my opinion, the best there ever was, the Jimi Hendrixes of the world, and Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck and Eric Claptons and all those guys and Johnny Winter and those blues-based kind of improvisational guys, So I'm playing from the heart, and I'm giving people the experience of watching me improvise right on the spot.
Is it fascinating? Do you see that they're re-releasing a lot of Jimi Hendrix music now?
No, I think it should be. People are trying to, understand what his evolution was and where he came from and where his head and his heart were at. So it's good. It's a good thing. I love delving into those old tracks and stuff like that.
Do you see that happening to you guys? I mean, let's step into the future about 30 or 40 years. Do you see people rediscovering some Bon Jovi tracks
I think
we've
people,
never heard?
Nowadays people just go to YouTube. Pick it up right there. It's becoming more and more accessible quickly.
Do you like that, though?
As music moves on, you got to be able to be flexible and roll with the punches. That's a part of the equation of success. You cannot, hey, look, when a wave is coming, when a tsunami is coming, you got no choice but to try to ride it. You cannot buck it. You're gonna die. You know what I mean? So you got to roll with what's going on there. You can protest as much as you want. You can kick and scream and complain as much as you want. You're not going to get anything done. So you have to be able to ride the wave and be flexible. And for any new musician that's out there, that would be my advice.
So then I should feel less guilty about getting the Bon Jovi app then, because I feel like that I'm not giving you your royalties if I'm jumping onto that app.
No, but it's okay because what the app does is give you a very interactive experience, which is a really, really interesting thing about what we've done with this record. I mean, you take the, what's in the CD, and you take that poster, there's like a little poster kind of thing, and then you get the app, and we actually come out 3D from the picture that's there. It's really pretty unbelievable. And then after that, it leads you into the, website and different stuff like that. It continues this interactive journey. So this record is kind of groundbreaking. I don't think anybody's ever done that. So It's pretty interesting.
Wow. So what kind of music wakes up your soul so you can pick up that guitar and start playing?
I'm sorry, I missed that one.
What kind of music wakes up your soul when you're about ready to pick up that guitar?
Man, I tell you what, I'm always in the dressing room listening to tunes before I warm up. It comes up from everything from, new bands and what people are doing now to, going back and listening to some blues stuff and some of my favorites. It depends on if I want to stimulate my vocals or if I want to stimulate my guitar playing.
Now, you know that there's that little line that's in the sand between the classic rockers versus the 80s bands. Do you think that's ever going to be mended?
I personally, I got to tell you something. I don't attach myself to any stigma at all. I'm a working musician, and this band is on its own journey and its own path. And we were kind of born out of the 80s thing. But I thought that what we did with Slippery When Wet, obviously, we were an American rock and roll band. If you listen to those songs today, you don't attach that to it. You know what I mean?
It doesn't get old.
We're out there playing those songs every night live, and they've evolved to a whole different place. It's 30 years later. So, and outside of this country, that stigma doesn't exist. It's a very interesting thing. Never happened.
So when you were
outside this country, all that stuff never happened, and we go out, and like I said, we did 52 countries, and a good majority of our record sales are out of this country. So and have been throughout our career. So I mean, it just took America a little bit more time for that to dissolve, for us particularly. But for certain bands that have stuck and made the same record and have not evolved and didn't do anything different, of course they're going to be saddled with that stigma, But and people still love that. So I mean, hey, everybody's got a career. We just have our own journey.
Do you ever think about that guitar riff in Wanted, Dead or Alive, and think, my God, this thing is pushing 30 years old, and I'm still affecting people's lives?
I mean, it's funny you asked that because the other day we were out there, and John and I, we opened up the song, and it was like, this riff is still amazing, and it's stuff like that just happens. It just came right out of my heart and, into my fingers that day that John and I wrote that song. Kind of came out all at once. I didn't have to struggle with it. It just kind of happened, and it's cool, and it's still cool, and it makes me happy every time I play it.
You guys are going to be playing on American Idol. Do you want to be a judge one day on that show?
I don't know. I never really thought about it. I mean, it's like I'm busy being a musician now and being active doing that. So, but I'll tell you what, I think it's a pretty cool show. I always did. I mean, it's such a different thing now how that is propelling new artists into the business. I mean, they took Carrie out of that business. I mean, Carrie Underwood's fantastic, and Kelly Clarkson and some big, some big artists can actually come out of there and springboard and actually make it in the musician business. But it's kind of weird because guys like us, we came up learning our craft in the clubs and in the bars, and then took it all the way through the theaters and then to the arenas and now to the stadiums, So we have that seems like a natural path up. These kids come from their bedrooms in front of their mirrors or their garages into 30 million people watching them on TV.
Now,
it's pretty intense, man, when you think about it that way.
I got your solo stuff. How come I'm not part of the popular crowd? What's going on here, and how does that affect you as a writer and as a musician? Does it charge you up, or do you go, what the heck? One of these days it's got to hit.
Like I said, we just do our own thing. I think at this point, especially, I think I've always felt like that. I always felt like I was in more competition with myself, not anybody else, really. So, and to absorb as much music as you possibly can and enjoy as many different genres as you can and try to embrace them all is, I think, the best way to go about it.
You don't think of yourself as a legend, do you?
A what?
You don't think of yourself as a legend, do you?
No.
Why is that?
You know what? I'll think of myself as a legend when I'm dead.
Oh, no.
It doesn't, I don't think, listen, I'm a working musician. I'm very, very happy to be that, and when I go on stage every day, I'm filled with gratitude for the opportunity and a lot of reverence, and that's where my spirituality lies. I go out there and I really give my heart every performance.